any information you can give us about what happened in this tragic situation?
Ed Gonzalez, Harris County Sheriff. This afternoon at approximately 2:06 p.m., Galena Park Police received a call for service at this location. It's an industrial complex here, the parking lot of an industrial complex. They arrived at approximately 2:18 p.m. and upon arrival they found a child. We believe that child to be 9 years old that was unresponsive at the time, and CPR was administered. That child was transported to a nearby hospital where sadly she was pronounced deceased. The information that we have at this point, still preliminary, it's still an active investigation. We have HCSO homicide as well as CSI that will be coming to the location to process the scene, is that a 9-year-old female child was left in the vehicle unattended, possibly from as early as this morning till about 2 p.m. It's our understanding that a mom, approximately 36 years of age, works here at the complex. In what capacity, we do not know, but that left the child unattended with some water, the windows partially down, and proceeded to go to work for the day. And of course, upon returning to the vehicle later on in the afternoon is obviously when she found her unresponsive. At this point, it's going to be an active investigation, but very tragic, sad situation. Again, a tragic reminder once again of how dangerous it is to leave unattended children in a vehicle for any amount of time. The temperature is extremely high, as we know. I think it's at least 97 degrees. I don't know what it was throughout the day. Obviously, it's been very hot, but any amount of time can be very dangerous and even fatal for a small child. A child's temperature increases at a much higher rate than an adult, and I know yearly in the country, at times there's been upwards of 30 type of cases throughout the country. So again, a very tragic situation. There's no excuse to leave any child unattended, also pets unattended. So again, this is just one more tragic reminder that sadly could have been prevented, because this child will not return back from this. And so it'll be an active investigation, as I said, and so that's the information we have right now. Brevemente, esta mañana vino la mujer, la mamá de una niña, vino a trabajar aquí en este complejo. Dicen que la mamá tiene 36 años de edad, una afroamericana. Llegó, dejó a su niña de 9 años dentro del carro, bajó un poco la ventana, pero dejó la niña con un poco de agua en el carro. A salir de su trabajo aproximadamente a las 2 de la tarde, cuando la vio ya en una situación ya necesitando auxilio, y llegaron aquí los oficiales, fueron mandados al local, y cuando llegaron la encontraron ya no respondiendo. La trataron de resucitar sin éxito, fue trasladada a un hospital cuando la niña de 9 años murió aquí dentro del carro. Entonces había muerto, fue trasladada al hospital y es donde fue confirmada. Entonces estamos aquí, nuestros elementos, para investigar lo que pasó.
Se dice, algo así, perdón, Telemundo, se dice que la niña tenía necesidades diferentes, que no se podía valer por sí misma. ¿Qué sabe hasta el momento?
No sabemos el estatus de la niña, de cómo, solamente sabemos que es una niña de 9 años. No me han dicho a mí más información.
Sheriff Gonzalez, can you explain that? Because they're saying, he just said that possibly the child may have had special needs, because a lot of people are asking, why would a 9-year-old not be able to open the door or get help or something?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to speculate at this time. I mean, obviously, because of the age, my experience typically has been when a child's left unattended, and this might happen, it might be a younger child. So I don't know. I want to get the facts, and so our detectives are here now working. So I'd rather make sure we get the right facts and be able to talk to mom and get more information than to speculate on what may have happened. Again, a child's temperature may increases at a much faster rate. So she could have gone into distress very soon, regardless of what her age would have been anyway. And so tragic situation all around. We'll have those answers a little bit later. We'll be able to give more information on her background, if she had any other medical factors or any other
but
issues.
Sheriff, it seems like from the outset what you're saying is the mom knew the child was in the car.
Yes.
Left her
Correct.
there on purpose.
Yes, the mother knew and left her in the vehicle with some water, a window partially lowered, and went to work for her shift, her regular shift. We believe her shift starts at 6 a.m. and ends at 2 p.m. So she arrived, parked, went into work, and returned. I don't know if anyone checked on the child throughout the day, but when she exited at 2 p.m., thus the timing of contacting the authorities, law enforcement is called out at 2:06 p.m. So that's the information we have right now.
What are the
Is it your
potential charges
understanding
for
the
a mother
mother
in
might
this
have had a
situation?
child care issue or something that's not a regular occurrence?
We don't know. Again, I don't want to speculate, but those are always factors to consider. Obviously, most people would leave a child somewhere secure in a safe environment. This obviously wasn't safe. And so, again, we'll make those determinations at what the family situation and dynamics were. And then we'll have a better understanding of that. But there's never an excuse, whether you're running inside a store, whether you don't have a child sitter in place, to leave a child unattended. There's no excuse whatsoever.
Is the mother in custody, and what possible charges?
She's detained at the moment. So our detectives hopefully will be able to communicate with her and get some more information. But at this point, we're still trying to gather all the facts, and from there we'll see where the investigation leads us. Again, I don't want to speculate right now, other than what we know happened, which is we obviously the child is dead. She was left unattended in the vehicle, and we'll determine. Obviously, we'll always consult with the district attorney's office to determine, what exactly we may have. The Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences just pulled up as well. So, we'll be conducting this investigation and determine what's next.
Usted acaba de decir algo importante, que no dejaron los niños ni a las mascotas olvidados. Pero esta señora aparentemente sí sabía que esa niña estaba ahí sola, y por qué. ¿Hay una diferencia en los cargos que puede enfrentar?
No hay diferencia en la investigación, depende qué es el resultado. Mi punto era, a propósito o sin propósito, no hay ninguna excusa, nunca. Entonces, pase lo que pase, entonces nosotros hablamos con la fiscalía y después ya se determinan cuáles cargos, si hay cargos se pueden poner en este momento o no. Eso va a ser parte de la investigación.
Sí, tengo una pregunta. Hay mucha seguridad en la compañía. ¿No había seguridad de personal?
No sé, tocante a la seguridad, si pueden ver dentro del carro, como vimos, el carro sí tiene como un cubierto en la parte de enfrente, entonces no se puede ver claramente para dentro del carro. Y no sé si estaban vigilando también, caminando en el estacionamiento. Yeah, the question was that there should be a lot of security or some security presence in the complex. Obviously, it's a commercial site. The vehicle was backed into the spot. There was a sun visor or screen, if you will. So if just walking by, even if there was somebody, just patrolling the area, if you will, or just checking the parking lot, it wouldn't have been clear to the naked eye. A window was partially down as well, so again, nobody would have been able to necessarily see it. So that's obviously a factor, and that'll be part of our investigation. If anybody knew throughout the day that the child was there, or any kind of exchange, we don't know if the child exited the vehicle, came back in. We simply do not know at this point.
Was the car locked?
I'm sorry?
Was the car locked?
We don't know if it was locked or once she returned back to the car, if she unlocked it.
Are you able to count on security footage?
I see cameras just here at the front, so that'll be part of what we look at. But based on the preliminary information we have, the information we have is that the child remained inside the vehicle the entire time. There was no indication of a child wandering around. It is a secure complex. So from all appearances, it appears, and again, this is a preliminary timeline, let me just say that, but mom typically arrives to work around 6 a.m., more or less, unless she was late or something, and again, we don't know that yet, but assuming she would have been in at 6, and when she exited at 2 p.m. is when the discovery was made. So we're assuming the child was there all day is how we're proceeding at this point.
I guess the sheriff, what's so shocking is that we all here report on parents leaving their kids accidentally in cars. That happens, unfortunately, too often. But to hear someone actually putting the child on purpose in the car in the summer, that's what's so shocking.
It's a unique thing. One of the things that we always, you're right, all my experiences, and I've worked cases like this as well, and our public awareness campaigns are typically, again, check your back seat, because they're easy to forget. Children could be asleep, or sometimes with AirPods or just quiet, and so please check, make sure you don't leave your pets, leave maybe your purse in the back seat so that there's a reminder to check. And so you're right, it's more of a unique factor to say I'm purposely leaving my child for whatever reason, and then obviously with the heat, it's extremely hot, and even if it was more mild temperatures, the inside of a vehicle gets extremely much hotter than even external. So whatever temperature you have now, it's much hotter inside the vehicle.
Is it the white Camry? The white Camry that has the visor?
Is it
the white sedan?
Yeah, it is the white Camry.
Has there been any contact with the family, like dad, grandparents?
We have not. That's been part of our conversations to make sure we extend it beyond obviously the work side, and again, we're trying to put all the pieces together, but that is part of our follow-up, is to determine residents, family situation. Want to make sure there's not other children, those type of things that we simply do not know at this point. Our investigation has been focused here where it happened, and obviously the hospital, but that'll be part of our thorough investigation.
You just mentioned that there's no excuse for what happened here today, but obviously so many parents were in so many kind of different situations. What would be your message to parents who feel like they have no other option but to bring their child to work and leave them at work?
Look, it's as a parent, and even if it wasn't, it's extremely sad and upsetting. With that said, look, we could be sympathetic to the fact that there's hardship. It's not lost on me that there's people going through tough times in this society. Maybe she has to make ends meet and keep, food on the table and work and all those factors. But the point is that death is never, the risk of death or harm is just, there's just no reconciling that in my mind at a personal level. And so you've got to make other arrangements, whether it be with your employer. It's not worth it to just put a child at risk like this, for any particular reason. And so, if you have hardships, then by all means work with neighbors, families, social service agencies. Maybe all those things were done. And so I'm not trying to minimize the hardship that people go through, because I know it's real. But at the same time, I'm extremely upset and disappointed that a 9-year-old, beautiful little girl has lost her life by no fault of her own, and will have missed on an opportunity to live a fulfilling life. And so, it's just hard to, say that under the circumstances, there's just no reason at the end. But we understand that hardships exist. Seek help. Seek help.
You mentioned the experience you have with solving these cases. You just mentioned the different agencies who are also involved in this investigation. What are the length normally would you say are these investigations go on? Would you say these are a few days, these are weeks long? What would you necessarily anticipate with this kind of investigation?
The basics of the case, we kind of have the basic information. We still have to do work with the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences to be able to conduct a medical examination and make sure that, heat stroke, what caused the death, confirm all those important factors, consult with the DA's office, and then make some determinations here on what potential next steps could be. It could be something that we could have more information sooner rather than later in terms of our charges will be applicable, will they be filed, how soon, or what other factors we may be missing. Again, there's a lot we don't know from 6 to 2 p.m. at this point. There could have been other adults. Maybe there was an adult that was supposed to be watching the child in the car. We simply do not know that. But the preliminary information we have is what I've shared, and so that's what we're going by right now. And I always say, just because we try to get the information out in a timely manner, but there's always subject that's something we missed, and that's why it's important to do a thorough investigation. We want to be timely, though, and give you the information we have.
When it's something that's known or intentional like this seems to be, what does that change about the potential charges?
Again, it just depends on what charges could be applicable. When we say intentional, was we've got to be careful that was there a clear intent to harm the person or just negligence. Those type of factors come into play. So it's just, this is just a hypothetical. Is the person clearly, I'm going to leave my child here because I want them to be injured or something? I'm just speculating here. I'm not saying. So a lot of it depends on what information we could glean from what happened. There's nothing at this point indicate that person had thought this was be the outcome. You know, just maybe stayed longer and forgot. Maybe meant to just go in and out. You know, there's a lot of things you could speculate about. We simply do not know at this
Sheriff,
point.
do you know if the mom took any breaks today for lunch or anything?
I don't know, but that's what we want to check. That's what I want to check. If were there visits during the day and maybe the child was okay, and that's a good question because that's something we've shared. Is we don't know, or the child just again was unattended the entire day. So we'll know that and we'll share it as soon as we know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Hood News peeps, can you guys hear me? We're going to start talking about what we just heard right now. Are you guys still there? Oh my goodness, friends. Oh my goodness. Hey, nature. Man, look, friends, I'm going to show y'all right now while the door is opening. The door's about to open. It's that white vehicle. I don't know. There's a white vehicle tucked in there, and it's facing the deputy car between the blue truck and a pewter colored. Oh, look, crime scene just arrived. Look, friends, look. Crime scene investigators just arrived, and it's gonna be that car right next to that blue ride. You see how the head of that vehicle's pointing out? That's where the girl was at, the little 9-year-old. So a lot of people are asking, like, why couldn't she have opened the door? Friends, what if she's special needs? What if she was disabled or whatever? Oh my God, somebody's yelling. Oh, security saying get out of the street. But yeah, crime scene investigator just got here. They still have to review all the footage. They're trying to see if mom took any breaks or, like, you know, they need to find out what exactly happened. This is all preliminary info. So this is over off of Mayo Shell Road, Mayo Shell Road, 1200 block. Crime scene investigators are here. The little girl was transported to the hospital. Unfortunately, she did not. She was deceased. And it's gonna be that white car right there. You see the one, the two blue vehicles. It's sandwiched in between. And they said, sheriff said that they had a visor, that there was a visor put on, like for shade for the vehicle. All right, that's Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, y'all. I'm about to dip out, man. This is so heartbreaking. I can't even, there's no way around this, friends. This is horrible. There's no defending it, really. I mean, you gotta outweigh, like, the child's life. Man, no, you don't leave a kid in there. My goodness. So they still have to figure out if mom took any breaks, you know, all that. They said they found water in there and the window was partially rolled down. But that's hot, friends. It's hot. Look at us. We're all sweating out here. Everybody's wearing long sleeve. Earlier, when I started this video, in the last video I did, I showed y'all how my shirt was drenched. And, you know, it's starting to cool down now, but it wasn't like this. It wasn't that merciful earlier. Yeah, crime scene units and homicide investigators are already here. They are already here. All right, friends, well, I'm going to go ahead and dip out. This is Grizzly reporting live here with the Hood News. 9-year-old found unresponsive in a vehicle, left here since maybe around 6 o'clock a.m. Mom gets out at 2, around 2:30-ish. Between 2:30 and 3 o'clock, I started getting my messenger blowing up about something. A bunch of police out here. HPD initially came out here. And Galena Park ambulance, like a Galena Park emergency vehicle, like an ambulance from Galena Park was here. The little girl was transported to LBJ, 9-year-old child. And unfortunately, she did not survive. Please be safe and don't leave your children in vehicles, y'all. Man, we will blast all of that. Man, we're going to call people out for doing that. Don't leave your pets in there. Don't leave your kids. Don't leave nobody. You're elderly. You don't leave nobody inside a car. No, unacceptable. All right, friends, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. Please be safe and be advised. Man, y'all saw how I started the video with my hair down and everything. Man, it is too hot, y'all. It is too hot. Have mercy on your children. Don't do this. All right, friends, prayers, 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 prayers. This is a paper mill company.